peculiar, isn't it? It's the middle of the night. I'm being very quiet because people are in my house and they're asleep, as normal human beings should be. So let's see how this goes. Welcome to Lite Byte Midnight Edition. This is going to be peculiar because we are doing a summer project in the middle of the night to make up with the fact that I can't do my streams on Friday. Seems like a bit of an extreme response to not being able to stream one day a week, but what we're doing is we are streaming every night instead for 2 hours. Instead of 1 hour on Friday, we're going to try and do 2 hours every night of August. There's going to be a couple of caveats to that. There are a couple of nights I'm not doing. For example, I'm probably not going to do Sunday night for the sake of it being Sunday and needing some time to sleep. Maybe, who knows, that sleep is overrated. As always, am terrible at introductions, so let's try this again. Hello, my name is Cennamo-Smith. I am a fantasy and crime author, and this is Lite Byte, where we normally have a cozy little Friday lunchtime stream where we do some book-related projects, occasionally design artwork for other authors, occasionally do some postcards. We've done some drawing. If I've had a really bad day, we play some video games, or if I've had a very, very bad week, we play some video games, and that's quite fun. Usually Stardew Valley, because that's nice and chill. What we're doing now is, this is, as you may have seen, Midnight Snack, because I couldn't think of a better pun for Lite Byte. So why not? We're just going to continue the theme. So yeah, for this project we are going to be streaming every night. Hang on, we've not got any music. Let's have some music. There we go. That's what we need. Something nice and chill. That's maybe looks a bit too loud on the stream. There we go. That looks, no, that's hardly playing. It's a delicate balance. What am I at? I'm at there. But that should be okay. We're putting all this down because I've tried to adjust settings for the fact that I am very quiet. Usually quite loud, and not loud, but at a normal volume and relatively entertaining. I like to think so, at least. I'm also realizing very small and in the top corner. Let's turn on the actual screen. No. Where's my screen gone? There you are. Now see, I'm looking over this way for two reasons. One, this is where you all are. This is the display screen. And then where this is where I'm actually doing something where I have all of this. So we're going to see how this goes. Because quite frankly, I have very little faith. How little faith do I have? I was repairing my microphone as I clicked go live. As that little loading screen was happening, I was busy fixing this microphone. So that's how prepared we are for whatever's going to happen tonight. As for what is going to happen tonight, well, we're going to be working on a summer project. If you've caught any of my other streams, either on VOD or live, if you did catch them live, why were you so quiet? Yes, if you did catch any of my VODs, we have been working towards this summer project, turning a short story I wrote into an animation. What we're going to be doing here, quite frankly, is continuing, and what we're going to start doing is making some robots. Because I need 7 of the bastards. That's definitely made this chat not children friendly. But oh well. If you are a child and watching this at 11 o'clock at night, you should be in bed. Or more likely you're in America where it's lunchtime. And a more reasonable time to be watching a YouTube stream, but you should also probably be at work because it's Friday. Then again, why bother? Everything's falling apart. Relax, take some time off, chill. So yeah, we're going to be streaming for, as I said, there's going to be a couple of caveats to this month-long streaming series. The first caveat is probably not going to do Sunday nights for the simple fact that that's when I go to the gym, and I might need some time to recover, and I doubt you want to deal with this, or I might just do some chill video games. Sunday might be video game night. Haven't decided yet, but we're going to see how this goes. And then there is going to be another one Saturday night this month where I'm not streaming because I'm in a different city at a book fair, because like I said, I'm an author and I have a book fair to attend, which will be a lot of fun. If you're in the UK, I happen to be in Birmingham on Sunday the 17th. Come down, say hello, grab some books, or some postcards, or some tarot cards, or an entire trilogy, or some ebooks or audiobooks. I do a lot of things. I do a lot of writing. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of writing, it's August. Oh, and I should probably, only fair that I plug this, considering this is what I spend a lot of my time doing. This is the 4th book in my series of Monsters Lost and Found. It is just as entertaining as the first 3. However, if you've not read the first 3, this probably won't make a lot of sense, but you might enjoy it anyway. If you want to start on book 4, good for you. I like the way you roll. Go ahead, pop it on my website. There are links all over below for you to enjoy. Oh, ebook, paperback, hardback, however you like to enjoy your reading. Let's adjust this microphone stand so it doesn't fall over. What was that? Oh yes, you may notice there's music playing. Why is that? Thank you. You may notice there is music playing. I do not own any of the copyright to this music. Am I worried about a copyright strike? No, I'm not doing this for money, I'm doing this for fun. What you'll see below me, somewhere along here, I don't know whereabouts, where's my chin there? Somewhere, there is a little, what's the word? Little thing, currently says Nebula Softly. That is the name of the song and the artist. This playlist is available on Spotify. There is a link below to said playlist. These people have made all this lovely music. I just think it's better to have something to chill to. And this is meant to be chill streams. So we're 8 minutes into the stream, and I've done nothing other than chatter and not actually look at the camera, because the camera's up here and everything's kind of off point. I need to reorganize and label everything up, line everything up a bit better. I honestly don't really know what I'm doing, but it's fun and I don't care. So let's make some mechana. We're going to make some lovely little machines, hopefully. And if any of this is going wrong, I'm not going to know, because currently there ain't nobody in my chat to tell me I'm doing things wrong. And I'm fine with that. Everything seems to be working, as far as I can tell. So, there you go. You may also notice there's a lovely little scroll bar at the bottom of the screen, and that's where you can pretty much find me all the time. So, here we go. Let's just get started. Let's just roll into it. I'm going to keep my little book down here, just below me, so I can see what's going on. Yeah. I honestly don't know how well this is going to go, or if I'm going to enjoy doing this for an entire month. But we're going to find out the hard way, because that's the best way to do everything, I find. So, what I'm doing, if you remember, if you were there or saw the stream where we did the sketch and artwork for all of these little guys, is I pretty much sketched out some models. No, there we go. Yeah, pretty much sketched out some models for what these robots are going to be. If you want to know why am I doing some robots, that is a jolly good question. I have been, just again for fun, writing a series of short stories where I take, again, this is entirely for fun, this is not what I normally do, so don't judge me on this. I have been doing and taking a lot of the old classic Disney princess stories and rewriting them in a different genre. Or just ruining them entirely. Both are true. It's far too far. Oh. Yeah, one of the first ones I did, what actually started this was I decided, since everybody else was doing like rewriting Snow White and doing a terrible job at it, if you don't mind me saying so, I decided to give Snow White a crack and wrote a cyberpunk retelling of Snow White, which I thoroughly enjoyed making and I got quite into. And I thought, even as I was writing it, it sounded an awful lot, or read an awful lot like a Love, Death and Robots series, or Love, Death and Robots mini. And I liked that idea, and I liked the idea of going back to roots in a certain sense, because I used to be an animator. I still do some animation freelance when I feel like it. Oh, not when I feel like it, when I can. When jobs come up, because that's always a lot of fun. Let's not do that just yet. I want to curve you a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You're also going to see pretty much a start to finish version of an animation project, which I don't think people see a lot of nowadays. They don't do a lot of how-to videos or anything like that anymore, or behind the scenes stuff, which is a pity because I personally used to really enjoy that. If anybody has seen the film Box Trolls, yeah, quite a good film in my opinion. I quite liked it. It's a good example of proper traditional stop motion animation. If anyone has seen that film, at the end of it they should do a little behind the scenes of showing a hyperlapse of the animator animating the characters whilst on top of, like, overlaid over the actual animation. And it's quite entertaining. It pretty much shows you how much effort goes into these things, which I don't think a lot of people appreciate or understand, because let's face it, not a lot of people do this sort of thing. I'm going to get rid of that, the floor, because it's annoying me. There we go. It's getting in the way a bit. Okay, this. In case anyone's curious, this fella's name is Stub. He is missing a left arm, or rather he will be for the first... Ooh. There we go, I remember short keys. Yeah, he begins the episode missing an arm and gets it back briefly. What happened? Why did you happen? There we go. It's important to label your parts. So that you know exactly what you're getting into, and I know exactly what I'm getting into when I forget what I'm doing next week. Oh no, I lost it. That's a pity. Oh my days, what on earth is going on? Oh yeah. N-cons. Let's try that again. Do hate me some N-cons. anybody who's curious, an n-gon is exactly what it sounds like. It's a polygon with with no fixed amount of numbers or its fixed amount of sides. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So when you draw a polygon in 3D software, if you happen to have one that has too many sides, as it were. How tall are you? Yeah, it has more than 4 sides. It becomes an n-gon because most 3D softwares are okay with 4 points for a polygon. A lot of software prefer 3 because triangles are easier and they're a stronger substructure to run. Cinema 4D, which is what this software is happy to run with 4-sided shapes, or 4 vertices per shape. But if you go any more than that, it will turn one of them into a triangle, but not tell you, and that's what's called an n-gon. What was I doing? What is your size? You are 532, so that looks square to me, but I could be wrong. Oh, look at that, so close. 532 by 538, that is good enough for me. So that's going to be his entry point there for his leg. These are going to be okay for this, I think. We want edge snapping and center point snapping. Edge snapping, center point snapping. Why? Because I don't want to create too many points. Because that way doth madness lie. Make it around 100. And set it 50, should be now. 80 is good. Let's bring that back in. And then do another one, and then we can turn just very briefly. Pull this up and out. There we go, that's going to be fine for a sort of ball joint. Yeah. Yep. Aha, see, here's an instance where it is not happy with having a four-sided shape when that shape bends in on itself. So we create a triangle. Suddenly, all is good. All is good. Okay. We are also, for this little little animation not going for what's the word I'm looking for? Realism. Because again, nope. That way doth madness lie. Actually, let's redo all of that. What we're going to do instead is build it out that way a little bit. That's alright. What I do want to do, just gonna take my time here because this is what we're doing today. Yeah, that now curls the way I want it to, and that is fine by me. Right. 100 enough. Pop out just a little further. Yeah, that's fine. Minus again, and that doesn't matter because that's not going to be seen. There. I do need to, I think. So yeah, this right here is an n-gon. You can't see how it's curving very well, but it's curving in certain angles, none of which I like. So let's tell them where their edge needs to be. So that point is pointless. Fine to me. Let's curve that as well. Let's curve your enthusiasm for this entire series, because you may have gotten the mistaken impression that I know what I am doing at any given moment. I can assure you I don't. I'm going to rewatch this stream just to see how will the files went, how will this sort of MS, I won't say MSRI, that's a band, ASMR style voice seems to be working on this stream. I have a feeling not very well, but I daren't raise my voice because I don't want to wake anyone up. Yeah, no, I need to keep that to avoid more n-gons, although I could just cut across there, but I don't want to. Right. Now we're going to do one last curvature. Again, we're not going for high detail on this, but we are going for consistency. Consistent low poly, as it were. Let's do some stuff to his head. I was about to say let's do some stuff to his face, but that sounds highly inappropriate. Okay, I need eyes and a mouth. Eyes and a mouth, there we go, that should be fine. No, that's too far. That's enough. I don't want to go too far. Just pull those bits out. I don't like the fact that's just a cube on top. No, that's what I want. There you go, that works. You should be dead center. You are wonderful. Lots of triangles. Looks very 1990s. No, I don't like that at all. Just delete the thumb tags entirely. Keep it low poly. Again, this doesn't need to have a functioning mouth. This is a robot. I think I might bring his gut in just a little bit. Then I might just, he seems a bit too chunk. I might change the head. I'm as yet unsure. And there you have the simplest of ball joints. Literally a ball, but nothing's going to rotate around. And then we're going to stick an arm in it. Exactly the same again, but down here. Again, doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because quite frankly, that's the style I'm going for. Not quite perfect, or even perfect at all. Sometimes simple is good enough. Though, having said that, I may now get a bit fancy with the arms. Stubbs here has no elbows, because quite frankly I didn't think he needed them and I thought he'd be cuter without. Very thirsty. Right. Where are we going with this? Now see, the problem is when I do sketches, they're very lacking on detail. Because quite frankly, that's the way I like it. Problem is, when it comes to making things that are a little more detailed, I kind of forget what I'm meant to be doing. Because I drew these a month ago. But oh well, that's half of the fun, I guess. That's better. Excuse me. That does the trick. Solve there. Now this is going to be somewhat tricky. How am I going to do his fingers? I wanted a simple 3-fingered claw, as I thought that would, one, save me time, but I've also only drawn 2 fingers. So how, indubitably, are we going to do this? Watch in real time as somebody makes poor choices on how to spend their time. I think there's only one joiner on there. Good, there was. This was a bad idea as well. Why did I do that? That's why I did that. Okay, there we go. Okay, you did that. Now what? Now what, good sir? Choices are being made. I don't know if they're good ones, but we are making them anyway. Did I need to cut that point there? Probably not. But again, a choice was made. Why? But that looks. I like the way that looks, but I can't figure out why I did it. Despite the fact you just watched me do it, and I can't figure out why it made sense. 30 seconds ago, my brain did it. Is this me discovering there's something wrong with me in real time? Potentially. I am talking to myself at midnight. Nearly midnight. It's not quite midnight yet, so this doesn't count. This isn't a break with reality. Not quite yet. Either way, you've stared at the top of my head for too long. I need to find somewhere else to put this camera. Somewhere that means that I'm actually looking at you more often and not just staring down. But if I put you down here, you're going to be staring at my nose, which isn't pleasant. If I put you right in front of me here, I'm not going to see the screen, which is hazardous to animating. We need to make something happen on this stream. We need to make something out of this. We made a choice. We need to stand by it whilst we try and work out what that choice was. Fiddle around with this. Ooh. Tell you what we're gonna do. Ooh. You made that choice. Now work out why. Okay, that's your pivoting point, that's your connection to that arm. Simple, easy. We're just going to keep messing around with things while I work out how to do the fingers. Why would you go that way? In what possible universe was that a smart choice software? Okay. Just curving everything off, making it look a little edged. Faff around with the head now, whilst we still try and work out what we're doing. Nope, I need X, I don't need Z. That looks slightly better, that looks more stubby. Okay, we faffed around enough. Let's go with a simple. It says simple. That's the definition of body popping. There it is. That's what I needed. So let's keep it somewhat rounded to 10. 12's a rounder number. Okay. That's much too big. Now there's going to be a reason for this as well, he says, assumedly. He's wrong to assume. What on earth are you? Oh, your arm. Now, there's a reason here, and we are going to validate it somehow. How, though, is the question. I know how. Let's drop you there. That's fine. Let's get these in order so we know the hierarchy, as it were. Okay. This to be one. To be oops. Cylinder one. Cutting two, that should be slightly, no, it needs to be slightly offset. There we go. This might, for anybody watching this thinking, how does this guy do any kind of work in animation when this is the level of planning he puts into a project? I'll remind you, this is my project. I don't have a time limit. I've not got a deadline. I can do this can take as long as or as short as I want it to. And I've decided to go with a very simple ball hinge joint on this model. Oh. Thank you. That should always line up nicely. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take you and you and you. That's fine. You're right, that's much better, he says, for no obvious reasons. Oh yeah, no. Do I need to make you? Sorry. You know how that kind of works. do something very, very similar, but in the other direction. That's slightly trickier because I've got to rejoin two faces. Ooh. Why didn't I do this for the first one, you ask? The answer is quite simple. I forgot that I could do that. It's just gonna disappear into there for the sake of being difficult. Oh. I forgot they're not connected. There we go. Okay, so you do see there is some method to... No, there's no method. I don't know what I'm doing. But... do we keep that, or do we connect them? I'm going to connect them just to see if it looks any better. The internal faces, optimize the points, turn it back off, turn that off. Ow, and sorry, I keep forgetting this is here, usually it's up there. But I did not think you'd be able to hear me if it was up there, because I'm speaking very quietly tonight. One, two, three, four, five. 5 cuts. Nope, that's not going to work. doing that. Just make sure I've got all the ones on the middle. I do hate cylinders, I forget they do this. Okay, that doesn't seem too bad. No. Oh, that's why it's not working. There's always something you forget. There's always something you forget. Hide selected. Hide everything. Let's try that again. Okay. Why am I bothering? Oh, it's midnight. Happy midnight. Happy Saturday, everybody. Why am I bothering? Un momento, per favore. No, that's a stupid idea. Sorry. Getting bad advice from hypochondriacs. No, that's not going to work. decision I've made. Let's just keep that set there, that's fine. That kind of works. One finger upper two. No. Finger lower one. Both go inside arm, which goes inside shoulder. Now if we do this, shoulder can rotate anywhere, obviously not without constraints. Really. I think, yeah, okay, we're doing that for. We're gonna break something here, just intentionally though. We're gonna break the arm. Definitely delete all of those. Arm one. That was a bad idea. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Right now, arm. Full arm. It's going to allow some additional twisting as well if I need to, but now regular arm. Full arm can have your points set to there because you can do twisting. L, E. And what that's going to enable is quite simply if I lock everything else off, it can just do up and down, so it's like a little elbow. That is good enough for me on that. Okay. I'm wondering how many people are panicking, like especially obsessive sort of people that like this sort of thing, who are watching this going, this MF has not saved once on this entire project. And if you've not noticed that and you are now noticing it, correct, I've not saved once currently. Who knows if I will? Just delete the whole thing. Take the Drophy style and just delete your art. Okay. I think I'm going to do a similar thing for the legs to keep him in keeping. Keep him in keeping. That was amazing Amazing linguistical skills from the writer. Always be self-deprecating. If you can't self-deprecate, who can you deprecate? We're going again with the short, stubby legs. That's the angle I was looking for. That's the angle I was looking for. Oh, we got to do this. 12, seems. Maybe flaring out to 1200, certainly to begin with, at least. Again, we're keeping that. Yeah. Nope, not 11. 1100. Much better. Okay. I'm going to make his legs a little easier because they're going to be little feet. That's what I forgot to do. Hopefully. Oop. Oh, I'm disoriented. Where am I? There we go. That's fine. Shortkeys that don't always work, especially if you've accidentally highlighted something. There we go. Now again, in my sketch we go to two tiny little toes, which is cute but not very practical. What was... Again, I'm just figuring out how this would... This way. needs to be at this, the pivot point of the lower section of that. So yeah, I'm just working out things that are not that don't work at all. Hey, how is this little boy gonna run along? I think I might just give him feet, bog standard feet. I say bog standard. There's not gonna be anything bog standard about these little rippers. Okay, if you give me one moment though, I will be right back. We'll be absolutely back. 1 second, where's the button I'm looking for? That's right, this is a brief interval, which I don't know if I have music for. Let's find out. Well, that stopped it again. Good to know that happens. Right. Welcome back. Very brief break, just checking up on some things. What on earth is occurring? I disappear for 30 seconds and suddenly everything's bouncing off. Why is my phone telling me that I'm alive? Thank you, phone, for being an hour and 16 minutes late to me being live. Also, just reminded me that I'm live and I should get back to the computer. Possibly that. Do I want, now that I'm thinking about it, do I want feet? Nah. Not in that sense, at least. can go to there, and you can go to there. Tiny feet. This is silly, but I think it will suit the theme. Not the theme, but the art style almost perfectly. Think of that, and there we go. We're not going for high artisticness here. We're going for cute and silly, leading to horrific stuff that actually happens in the. So is that no, that's just a letter. Yeah, and then we'll then move on to the obviously horrific things that happen to this poor fellow. I'll draw an air vent in one of his arms. Should I stick an air vent in one of the arms? Yeah, that looks alright actually. It's just another little detail to make him stand out a bit, because then again the trick is just to add like nice little bits and pieces, nice little touches to make things stand out a bit. The eyes, I think I do need to round ever so slightly. There you can see the N-gons there. You can see those little lines. I've been talking about N-gons far too much this stream. N-gon 1 fixed, N-gon 2 fixed. Oh, that's unfortunate. There we go. Now I've done that though. Need to well, that's not too bad. Okay. Again, there is reason for this. He speaks like a soundboard. It looks a little bit like a frog now, but I don't hate that. Because it's not meant to be a functioning creature or functioning member of society in any way, shape or form. Though those eye sockets do need rounding. Okay. I think we need to now take all of those out. Take you out as well. Move the body. Okay, now this bit is quite simple. Okay. Wish there was a quicker way of doing this, and there is technically, but it doesn't work the way I need it to later. Yeah, see, does that. Yeah, it also doesn't work. Oh, it works there now. Have you? Sweet. Okay. There we go. So that's him all lined up. He's gonna go inside body, head and go into the body too. Now let's put some detail just on the chest torso. The chest torso, the torso, the body, whatever you want to call it. This little bit I want some kind of. Should that just be? That could just be drawn on, I guess. Right. Let's turn the floor back on. Just for shits and giggles, mate, give him a little. That's 2. There we go. Apply that to him there. A little disc. On the floor for him to stand on. Why am I doing this? Well, because. Satisfied? No? Oh well. Just because I want to give it just a quick render just to see how it looks. Why am I doing everything in the reflectance? Because I'm going to be using the physical render engine that is built into this software. And for some reason reflections work better on with the physical renderer than they do with better with the physical. Yeah, reflectance works better with physical renderer than color files do. I don't understand the logic behind it, or I haven't really looked into it, but it just renders quicker. You use color with the physical. There we go. The equivalent of digital paint drying. Now, is he the prettiest boy? By no means. Are we sticking with this art blocky style? I think so, for 2 reasons. 1, it's relatively quick. 2, when it's stylized properly and when it's all painted. Or do we go cell shaded? Maybe that's something we could play with. Should we cell shade him? Yeah, let's do some render tests now. What was the name of the frickin' cell shader? So, no. I don't know why they name these things so difficultly. What was it? What was it? Banji Nuki Sketch? Should have known. The plus I believe we can remove and turn everything else off. There we go, so where's the shading? Quantize now on gradient. Okay, let's check out the strokes. going animated. We don't want clone. We do want clone strokes. Let's have 3 repeat strokes. And offset 5. Overshoot 30. Distort 25%. Offset. Okay, distort, curve stroke, cubic wall. Let's place from 2. That's a lot of noise is fine. Adjustment strokes, thickness 1. Let's keep it nice and simple. Colour wants to be ballpoint penish. Let's throw this on body here. Oh dear. Thinner. That's why, because we don't get matte on there. What we need is to create. I'm just tired at this point in time. We don't need reflectance because nothing reflects in. Sketch and tune. What it does is effect sketch and tune cell. We don't want to use camera, we want to use light. Yeah. That's why that only worked. Whoa, come on brain, let's actively do something, shall we? That was indeed a waste of time. There we go. Let's stick with that. Let's give again, this is not, I am probably going to actually spend some time going in and texture painting this guy properly. But for now, it's been a long, trying day. And I am kind of done. Let's change the time, let's make it, midnight, let's make it 2300. Let's see if his eyes glow. glow? How much do they glow? Not enough. Now, I'm going to do a test here. Generate UI. CGI, receive acoustics, let's make that. Yeah, we're just doing this as a comparison. Bumping up. Oh, that's already done quite a bit, it seems. That's what it was, that's what it is now. Let's see, just want to see how much that changes it and how much that affects the render time. This is all things you need to consider when doing a project. What's going to be the quickest and look the best? Because there's not much difference time-wise, and it's a dramatic change visually. Awesome. If, or the other way around, so that both have taken 35 seconds, and there's absolutely no difference between the two of them. So option B. Go 100. What we do instead is actually attach lights to the eye. Forward just a smidge. Now I'm just going to make them blue. They are going to cast soft shadows for now, and that'll do, I think. Let's see what the changes here. Obviously each frame is going to take far longer than 35 seconds when I actually get around to the animation side of it after it's properly textured. But this is just a good, because I want the eyes to glow, because these are a little bot, their eyes should glow. Not much change, I don't think. Do I need to up the intensity? No, not much has changed there, has it? But it has increased the time by 4 seconds. What if? And again, we're just upping. Trying to multiply everything by 5 just to see how it looks. To check to test the actual change, see if there is anything. So far, not a lot, but it has massively upped the brightness there. What's that done to the time? Again, doesn't look much better. Okay, let's turn you both off. Try one more thing. And again, see what that does. If it's going to be a case of I have to Photoshop the glow to on their, around their eyes, that is going to be a ball ache. Down to 31 seconds from that to that, the eyes look significantly more intense. However, now they're not quite blue enough. Let's drag that to not color because we're using physical renderer. Let's drag that down to there. So it's color off, colors off, but we've got luminance on. That looks better already. I think I'm going to have to make some slides. What on earth is going on here? View us all. How do I remove this color? How do you block somebody from chat? I've just seen this bullshit. Thanks for your first time chat, sir, but you can bugger off. Click to reply. Ban. That's how you do that then. Well, that's nice. Always fun. There we go. What we got? That's not much difference. That's something we can work on another day. We can just, here's an idea. Just keep that. Turn these two on. But, and this is going to be the last thing I do. Before we leave, see how much difference this makes. Because for the most part, where this whole animation takes place, which is mostly in an underground bunker, apart from when we go into you can read the story if you want to. Apart from when we move into the second scene, is mostly underground bunkers. It's going to be quite dimly lit, I feel. Whoa. That's a bit better. It's definitely glowing. That's a fact. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Acoustics need fixing, because that's very, very bitty. But let's just get rid of those just for the time being. So either way, we have a little bot. I need to do some detailing on the chest. There probably should be some actual panels on his body, now that I'm thinking about it. Ooh. There we go, back to that. add some paneling to it, I think, but I think that's going to be a texture because that might be quicker and look a bit better. What we are going to do though is give him a bit more of a curve, just as the last thing we do here. Ever so slight curvature to him. I think that kind of makes a difference when you're looking at it. Or maybe it doesn't, and I'm just thinking too much. Oh, I need to sort out those, which I will do when I've done this. Have they in it? Oh no, that cuts in the wrong way for sure. Right. Why am I doing this? Quite simply because the fewer polygons you have, the less time it takes the computer to render them. So I need to add those ones there like that. There we go. Well, I do think that about does it. The first one, so we have at least modelled, and again, he doesn't look like much, but he doesn't need to. We've at least modelled Stub. I remember his name. Don't worry, I will save immediately after this stream is over. Do I need to set it? That's one of the things set up. Oh, crack. Well, I entirely hope you have enjoyed this peculiar little late night stream, and it's going to be continuing for the entirety of August, as long as nothing goes wrong and I don't get yelled at for making noise in the middle of the night. So, let's turn the music down just a little bit, because this is very jivey all of a sudden. So, thank you for hopping along, thank you for watching this stream for its entirety if you have, or for whatever bit you joined in on. Thank you for that one bot for joining in and attempting to scam me, which was poorly planned. But yeah, this has been a peculiar evening. This has been a late night stream, which is a first. Hopefully it's gone well. Hopefully I haven't just been silent this entire time. It seemed to be working when I tested it yesterday, but that was yesterday, and who knows how things happen overnight. But yes, to sum up, I have been and will continue to be Nick Cennamo-Smith, the fantasy crime author. If you enjoyed this stream, come along tomorrow night where we're going to be doing it all again with a different robot. If you haven't enjoyed this stream, thank you for continuing to watch this bit, though baffling choice. If you enjoy short stories, full-on novels, episodic series. I have some amazing news for you because I've got all of those things on the links below on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Nick Cennamo-Smith, one word. If you're unsure of how to spell my name, it is pretty much everywhere, on my page at least. If you want to get your hands on some lovely books, they are on my website, which is again www.nickcennamo-smith.com, where you can get hold of all four of the books in my series, as well as get news on upcoming ebooks and whatnot. There is also, if you sign up for my Patreon, not only do you get to read, if you sign up for free on my Patreon, you get to read all of my short stories 1 month after they've come out for paid members. If you're a paid member, you get to read everything instantly. You also get access to an entire series that's already finished called The Rat Kings of London. You will also get to read every episode of the noir crime thriller Insecticide, the light novel series I Used to Be an Adventurer, and again, the early access to all of my short stories. If you sign up for the top tier of my Patreon, not only do you get all of that, but you get all of my ebooks for free. So everything I've already written is yours to have straight away, immediately. That's easily nearly a few thousand pages worth of writing, a long weekend of reading, depending on how fast you read, or possibly a month of reading if you are a very slow reader or don't get a lot of time to read. I personally have been trying to read the same book for a year because that's how little time I get, because I spend so much time writing. So yeah, this has been Lite Byte. I will be back here every evening for this entirety from here all the way down to here, every night from 11 PM UK time to 1 AM UK, and I will be doing more of the sort of thing, bit of gaming occasionally on the Sunday nights to have some chill time, and yeah, so thank you very much for coming. That has been me. I will see you again sometime. Have a lovely evening, and TTFN. He says signing off, not able to find his sign off button. And we're out.